Here it is, the Redmi Note 8 Pro. This is my hands-on impressions. The phone is in the shops, but you cannot buy it yet. We have to wait a while until it's shipped to us. But you've got a green color, this white color, which looks awesome. This is the one I ordered. I really like this color on phones, but I actually really like this green one too. It does come in black as well. The camera unit is looking really good up there. It's bigger than usual when compared to the K20 or the Mi 9. You'll see those comparisons in a second. But I think it looks really great and it suits the phone. When compared against the K20, they're both in the middle. They have some slight differences, but I think it looks really good and symmetrical to have it in the middle. You've also got the fingerprint sensor of the Note 8 in the middle there, just under the camera array. But in terms of design and size, it's really similar to the K20. I would say the Note 8 Pro is a little bit bigger as a phone and a little bit thicker as well, but not by much. In the more expensive K20, you've got that 48 megapixel sensor, whereas in the Note 8, you've got that new 64 megapixel sensor, and we'll get onto some camera samples in a second. But the design on the back is very good so far, especially for the price. How about that LCD display? I always prefer OLED displays in a phone, but to be honest, LCDs are so good now that when you're using it, it's not massively different. OLED does give you better colors and more contrasty colors, but for the price, it's good. And here is the Antutu score, although I wouldn't take that for too much at the moment. We'll have to get that into the studio and test it out side by side officially in the same conditions. But overall, the design is good and the bezels are fairly small for a phone of this price. And you've got that top notch up there. Compared to the K20 screen, yeah, the K20 has smaller bezels all around, but not by much. And you've got that completely bezel-less OLED display, which is really top notch. But the Redmi Note 8 gives you a very similar experience. I mean, look at them, they're virtually the same. And what do you think of the black one against the Xiaomi Mi 9? It's definitely a different design. The Mi 9 has a much smaller battery and is thinner overall, whereas Redmi phones are usually a bit bigger, a bit thicker, have bigger batteries. Both the Mi 9 and the Redmi Note 8 have this water drop notch. It's tried and true design right now, and for the price, I wouldn't expect anything more or less than this. This is definitely a big step up from the Redmi Note 7 and 7 Pro's design. It really is a completely different type of design and a different type of phone from those. For a start, the camera array is just so big and you get so many different cameras compared to the Redmi Note 7. It's not a small phone, it's not a thin phone, it is big, it is quite thick, but you get that huge battery and it's powerful for the price, which Redmi are going for. You've got that MediaTek chipset in here, which for me is a really unknown chipset. I'm not going to call it good or bad or good bang for your buck because I don't know how this thing performs, and we'll have to wait until the review to see how this MediaTek chip stacks up. Images do rely on the chipset as well as the cameras. This is the ultra wide, great to have that. This is the main camera, and then moving into a 2x zoom, that will be digital zoom. They look good, but we'll test it side by side after with other phones. But this is 64 megapixel mode and going to another 64 megapixel mode shot. It's really difficult to tell you guys on YouTube how good the quality is, but I blew the images up on my computer and there was a lot of detail in here. If we zoom all the way in on a 64 megapixel shot, it keeps a lot of detail considering how far away it is. YouTube compression will not make these shots look good, but the file sizes of these were huge, meaning there's a lot of data. My selfie has some blown out highlights on my top, but the lighting is awful for this shot. It's having to use HDR. I think it does a decent job, to be fair, considering the lighting. So this phone is the cheapest of the bunch right here, the flagship Mi 9, the K20, and I actually think that this design is really pushing forward, even considering this is the cheapest phone of the bunch. Impressed with the phone overall, and you know what, day to day, you're gonna get a very similar experience no matter what phone you have, if you're just using messaging apps and social media. A really interesting phone overall, and for the price compared to the 9X, for example, from Honor, it's got a great design compared to that, and I'm really interested in that camera, not only in this phone, but in coming Redmi phones. I'm excited for the future. Anyway, guys, that is it for now for my hands-on impressions of the Redmi Note 8, but I'll see you in the next one.